President Davis, we are live. You may start the meeting.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the January 28th regular board meeting of the Capistrano Unified School District. The meeting is now in session. The time is 5:01 p.m. Mrs. Swinky, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Castellanos?
Here.
Trustee Pritchard?
Present.
Trustee Zollinger?
Here.
Trustee Adams?
Here.
Please note that Trustee Jones is absent this evening. Trustee Bullicus?
Here.
Trustee Davis?
Here. Before we adopt the agenda, please note the closed session item 4H, Public Employee Discipline Dismissal Release, has been pulled by staff. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Adams, seconded by Trustee Bullicus. Mrs. Swinky, do you have any requests to speak for the adoption of the agenda?
Yes, we have one speaker.
Thank you.
Ms. Vargas? Please.
Okay, nice to see you all again. I was here last month. I hope you guys had amazing holiday. I have 3 minutes. Okay, no more chit chat. I'm here to actually ask each and every one of you if you could hear my appeal to have the book Poet X removed. And I'm here to finish the argument that I was unable to finish last month. So I'll kind of start at the beginning. The way that I came to find out about the book Poet X was when a mom had reached out to me to let me know that their freshman student came home upset about a book that him and his classmates were being required to read. Of course, this piqued my curiosity due to the fact that I also have a freshman at SCHS. I did my due diligence and read through my son's copy, and to say the least, I was shocked and disappointed. I'm here not just for my kids, but I'm here because there are hundreds of students that do not have a voice that are being required to read something that is making them feel things that are not appropriate in the English class setting. The book Poet X contains repeated graphic descriptions, which I read last time, and these are not abstract references or vague allusions. They are explicit scenes that place the reader inside a sexual experience. My concern is not that difficult topics are addressed, but that this material is required, removing parental choice. If we were to turn these excerpts into movie scenes, would we be pushing play in those classrooms? Teenagers are still developing emotionally and psychologically, and required exposure to explicit sexual material is not necessary to teach literary analysis, empathy, or identity. There are many alternative texts that meet educational goals without crossing these boundaries. I am also aware that the students can opt out of reading this book and be given a different book that they can read, but will have to leave and go sit in the library while Poet X is being discussed in class. And as a lot of us in this room know, that's ostracizing the kids. There's nobody, none of my friends' kids, that will say that, will stick up for themselves because they will be shined a light on them that they don't want. They don't want the extra attention. And at this age, they have yet to find their voices. So they go along, say nothing, and it leaves them in a vulnerable position. The part that gets me the most as a mother and concerned parent is that our kids are being sexually stimulated in the classroom. My question is, why are they being sexually stimulated in the classroom? I would encourage each and every one of you to grab that book. It's a very quick read, and it reads like a romance novel. And I just don't think that that's teaching our kids anything they need to learn. So I go on to say we are the ones that are in charge of what comes in and out of the gates of our schools and classrooms, and protecting them is of the utmost importance. I appreciate every single thing that you do coming here at night and the hours that you spend thinking about our kids. And I do ask today that if you could please remove Poet X from the required reading list at San Clemente High School, and may I go as far as asking to remove it from the rest of the district. I appreciate all of your time.
Thank you, Ms. Vargas. Okay, and on the agenda, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and the motion carries 6-0-1 to adopt the agenda. Ms. Swinky, before the board recesses to closed session, are there any requests to speak for a closed session agenda item?
The speaker spoke on closed session, so there are no more.
Thank you. The board will now recess for closed session to address the following agenda items: student readmissions, 2 cases; student expulsions, 2 cases; conference with legal counsel anticipated litigation, 2 cases; conference with legal counsel anticipated litigation, 1 case; conference with legal counsel anticipated litigation, 2 cases; conference with legal counsel existing litigation, 3 cases; liability claim, 1 case. The board will now recess to closed session.
President Davis, you may start the meeting.
Good evening and welcome to the January 28th regular board meeting of the Capistrano Unified School District. The meeting is now in session. The time is 6:06 p.m. Mrs. Swanky, can you please call the roll?
Student Board Member Hanson is absent this evening. Trustee Castellanos.
Here.
Trustee Pritchard.
Present.
Trustee Zollinger.
Here.
Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Jones is absent this evening. Trustee Bullicus.
Here.
Trustee Davis.
Here. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Patricia. Patricia, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Mrs. Swanky, can you please read out the report from closed session?
On agenda item 4A, student readmissions, trustees voted 601 to approve staff recommendation on the following cases: 2023-008, 2024-027. On agenda item 4B, student expulsion, trustees voted 601 to approve staff recommendations on the following cases: 2026-002, 2026-006. On agenda item 4C, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, trustees gave direction to staff. On agenda item 4D, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, trustees voted 331 to hear the level 4 complaint regarding instructional materials. Trustees Adams, Bullicus, and Davis voting aye. Trustees Castellanos, Pritchard, and Zollinger voting nay. Motion failed. On agenda item 4, board will reconvene closed session following all regular business of the board is completed. And this concludes the report.
Thank you. We are now moving on to public comment. The total time for public comment shall be 20 minutes. Mrs. Swanky, do we have any requests to speak on non-agenda items?
Yes, we have 7 speakers, so the time will be 3 minutes each.
Thank you.
We will start with the student speaker, Alex Sarah, and then following Darla Magana, Lisa Myers, Michael Blanchard, Linda Moore, Julie Isola, and James Brophy. Alex, you may begin.
Hello, my name is Alex Sarah, and I am a student at Tesoro High School. I would like to voice my concern about San Juan Hills High School's website. So on San Juan Hills High School's website, there is a page with the name Dreamers, all capital letters, Dreamers. So on the Dreamers page on the high school's website, there is a link that helps illegal immigrants get driver's licenses. Now let me remind you the consequences. In August of 2025, an illegal immigrant with a California driver's license caused a car crash that killed 3 people in Florida. Then in October, another illegal with a California CDL killed 3 more people in a brutal car crash in Ontario, California. 2 illegals, 2 accidents, and 6 dead in 2 states. And yet San Juan Hills is helping these people get driver's licenses. This is absolutely unacceptable. And I'm not pointing the finger at you guys because, you guys may not be aware about this, but when 6 people die due to this stuff, it really affects me, and I'm outraged. I think that link should be removed, and our school should be keeping students safe, and I think that link is contributing to these deaths. I will ask how many more people have to die before we do something about this. I'm fighting for those 6 innocent people who were killed. This is not about hate. This is about safety and morality. And if you guys care about the safety of your students, please get that link removed. I do not hate illegal immigrants, and I just want for people to be safe. I don't think they have a right to be in the country, but I just want safety, and I don't want for people dying in a car crash. It's just very wrong. So please do not contribute to this. please remove this link and help save lives. Thank you.
Darla Magana.
Hello, my name is Darla Magana, and I live in the community. I'm also a school librarian at a private school. I want to start by saying thank you. My son is currently a student teacher in San Juan Hills in an English class, and he's thriving. His master teacher is absolutely wonderful, and I want to thank the board for supporting partnerships like this with UCI Credential Program. But what I'm here to speak about tonight is a concern that I had after the last board meeting, when several speakers spoke against a book available to high school students in the English classes called The Poet-X. I've read this book twice. It's beautifully written, thoughtful, and powerful, and I fully understand why teachers would choose it for students. I want to urge caution. When we hear books criticized through isolated quotes pulled and meant to shock, pulling language out of context does a disservice to the board, to educators, and to students. For example, one speaker shared about a passage describing physical affection between the main character, Ziamara, and her boyfriend, Aman. But that speaker stopped just before the next lines, where Ziamara says, "We have to stop." And then she worried about how she might be treated for setting a boundary. Quote, "I waited for him to call me all the names I know girls get called in this moment, to point me to the door. I know how this works. You put out or you get out." Quote. What comes next matters. I waited for him to point me to the door, and So I was surprised when instead of my boots, Aman handed me his own t-shirt. And when I looked at him confused, he takes it back and uses his sleeve to wipe the tears sprinting down my cheeks. That's not pornography. That's a clear, healthy message. It's okay to say no, and respectful partners will listen. Another speakers last month also worried that the book teaches students to disregard parents, but what was not quoted was when a teacher counseled Ziamara, and the teacher said, quote, "You do have to talk to your mom, really talk to her, and you need to figure out how to make a relationship work with her." Later, the family even seeks help from a pastor. And this book was called Ungodly last month. So those moments weren't shared, and I think it's because they just aren't shocking enough. I appreciate that this district has thoughtful processes in place that allow parents to request alternatives while allowing teachers to teach. My concern is simply this: when books are judged by cherry-picked quotes, we miss their full message. I urge us to consider what isn't being read aloud and to trust educators who select literature based on its entire value. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lisa Myers.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Myers. I'm a parent of 2 students at San Juan Hills High School who are very excited tonight because it's opening night of Sweeney Todd, and they're both involved, so I'm super proud of them. Tonight I had to come here, though, instead to speak in honor of Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old boy with the blue bunny ear hat who was taken from his school last week in Minnesota. A quote from Minnesota Public Radio said, "His teacher, Ella Sullivan, was in visible tears during the announcement that Liam had been taken away. He's a bright young student, and he's so kind and loving, and his classmates miss him. And all I want for him to be safe and back here," Sullivan said. Another Minnesota teacher shared this: "We're creating a generation of students from immigrant families who understand exactly how little this country values their safety." Given the trauma and anxiety these events in Minnesota have sparked among students and families nationwide, and what we know about ICE out in our community, what support and reassurance is the district offering to those worried about this situation? I asked the school board and district leadership, what have you done to support the students, the families, the employees, the educators who live in every day in fear that someone in their community may not be there when they get home or the next day in their classroom. Our school board members who claim to love children and love their community, how have you reassured your communities that this is a top concern of yours? Every time I think of the vision of a CUSD graduate, I think of how this school board majority does not demonstrate those characteristics. Standing up for others is part of that vision. When will this board or district stand up for their students and those families? Thank you.
Our next speaker is Michelle Blanchard. When you're ready.
Hi, thank you for correcting my name too. It's Michelle. I've heard Michael many times. Michelle Blanchard. I am a mom to 2 kids in the district, and I am also, this is my 3rd year as an elementary library media tech. I did actually work in Capo before my kids, and I was a substitute teacher. So I've been in the district and been in education for a long time. But I'm here because as much as I know it's not necessarily, I don't know, hope it happened in our lifetime, my lifetime, that we would have full-time elementary library media techs. My 3.5 hours is not enough to get everything that I need to get done, and I worry sometimes about, different school sites. Sometimes I believe it should be based on the numbers at the school. Like I happen to know somebody at Oso Grande that's a huge school, and it's just one library tech. It makes me feel for her every time I hear about all the things they have to do, rotating libraries. Anyways, but I'm here today because as much as I'm fortunate that I can survive with my one income family, but I want to be back to work and work more hours. So I'm always looking out for middle school and high school when I can. Next year, my kids are both going to Capo, so I'm very excited. Recently, we had a change of position, and I was reaching out because I was concerned that there's usually in high school been an elementary technician, library technician, and elementary library clerk. And when our wonderful technician moved up, and then the clerk moved up, the clerk position has not been filled. And I reached out, and I was told it has not been approved to fill. And I know there's other clerk positions in the district that have not been filled. And so I'm concerned, and I wanted to reach out to the district and ask why that is. I worry for the kids that aren't getting, I don't know how they're doing Chromebooks and checking out curriculum and managing the library with one person, but also if I hope that you want to keep people in the district and you hope that that is the goal, the arc of where you would go if you can have an elementary full-time position, I hope that those middle school and high school positions will continue. And I hope that you'll approve the clerk position to fill so that I may apply. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Linda Moore.
Hi, I'm a retired CUSD teacher. I attend school board meetings regularly, but was unable to do so last month. So instead, I watched the streaming version of it available at capousd.org, which is an excellent resource. Unfortunately, during open communications, I was disappointed to witness a small group of people speak to the banning of a book, The Poet X, in our school district. These were the same people who I have seen in the past speak to banning books many times in the past. They used their usual tactic of reading aloud passages from the book that they deemed unfit for our students. One person evoked the name of Jesus and referred to teachers as tempters. Fortunately, a high school librarian defended the book, noting that in the end, the main character chooses to make good decisions in her life. As a teacher, I know that books are an excellent resource used to stimulate critical thinking, analyze complex issues, and engage in meaningful discussion. I also know that banning books is a proverbial slippery slope that often leads to the censoring of all different types of information. It also needs to be remembered that we are a public school system. We are not a private religious school system. Finally, it is CUSD policy to allow parents to opt their children out of reading any of the district adopted books. So trustees, please do not allow book banning into our district. Do not lead us down that contentious road. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Julie Isola.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Julia Isola, and I am honored to serve as the new president of CSEA, representing more than 2,000 classified employees who are the backbone of our district. Our members are proud of the work we do every single day. We feed hungry students, support our most vulnerable learners in the classroom, and foster independent reading in our libraries, like Michelle. Our office staff ensure everyone gets paid and the ADA funding flows to our schools. We keep the lights on, the water running, and the Wi-Fi working. We clean every campus and maintain every field. Simply put, we make this district run. Our work matters, our students deserve our best, and I'm proud to represent the dedicated professionals who show up for them every day. I look forward to working with you to ensure our classified employees have the support and the resources they need to continue to serve our community with excellence. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is James Brophy.
Hello. My name is James Brophy. I'm the parent of 5 children who are all students in the Capistrano Unified School District, ranging from elementary school to high school. And I'm also the Cub Scout leader for Cub Scout Pack 702, based out of Aliso Viejo. Historically, most of the scouts that we've recruited into our pack, which serves the elementary school age range, have come from the local elementary schools within Capistrano Unified. And depending on the policies of the elementary school principals in the area, Cub Scouts have generally been allowed to promote their organization through and their recruiting events through things like promotional flyers that have been approved by the principal, to take-home and take-home folders, or to distribute flyers perhaps on a table before back-to-school night that families could take if they're interested. In the last 2 years, it's been much harder to recruit for Cub Scouts. At the elementary school level, our group has been told that Capistrano Unified has new policies in place that restrict recruiting for groups like Cub Scouts. So we have no longer been allowed, for example, to have a flyer out in front of the school that parents could pick a flyer up from back to school night, that kind of thing. And this has even been at schools where we've had long-standing, very positive relationships with the school principal and the PTA and so forth. And these restrictions on Cub Scout promotion have resulted in diminishing recruitment. It's been as hard, I would say, in the last 2 years as it was during COVID, if you can believe that, which was very, very difficult. I was very happy to have a massive upturn, but when we've had our recruiting restricted, that's been very difficult on our group. Our group has had many benefits to the schools. We've done campus cleanups for the local elementary schools. The older scouts in Troop 774 have on many occasions helped break down the equipment after some of the fundraising fairs that the local schools have had. My own son, my eldest, is doing a project for his old middle school, AVMS. So Scouting has a long tradition of working with the schools and benefiting them. So I would like to ask the school board to please perhaps clarify how Scouts can work with the schools, what we're permitted to do recruitment. That would be very, very helpful. And to keep an open mind about it. Our kids at these schools that we have in our pack are the same kids in your schools, and we all want to work hard to benefit the community and teach our kids about civic service. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have no remaining speakers.
Thank you. And I'd like to welcome Julie as our new CSEA or CUEA. No, CSEA president. Thank you, sorry. All right. Moving on to 11A, presentation. We're moving to discussion action items. 11A, presentation receipt of the district and community facility districts annual financial reports for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve? Moved by trustee Zollinger, second by trustee Bolkus.
President Davis, we have a presentation today, not an overhead, but a report from our internal auditor. So I'd like to introduce Jessica Miller, that's her new name, is an auditor with Nigro LLC. But before she starts, I'd like to thank Philippa Townsend, our Assistant Superintendent for Fiscal Services, and her staff for the work that goes into what culminates into our budget each year and also into our audit report that the auditors prepare.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. As was said, my name is Jessica Miller. I'm a partner with Nigro and Nigro, and we're your external independent auditor. For presentations, I usually do a very brief overview of our process that takes place throughout the year and then the report itself, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have about either at the conclusion. So for our process, it's really a repetitive each year annual process. It takes place in 3 different stages. We start really about this time of year with what we call our site visits. At that point in time, we're taking a sample of your different school sites, and we're actually going out to those sites and visiting and going through your attendance taking procedures as well as ASB transactions for the sites that have ASBs. Obviously, attendance is a major driver for a lot of your funding, and so we want to make sure there's proper checks and balances and controls when it comes to how attendance is taken. This would include regular classroom attendance as well as independent study. A little bit later on in the year, we do our first visit with the district office. It takes place in the springtime, so we're not looking at final financial numbers yet, but we're looking at controls and compliance. For controls, that's taking samples of different transactions, making sure there's proper supporting documentation, things are being done timely, there's approvals when approvals are required, and just those kind of checks and balances on internal controls. We also do a lot of questionnaires with the different staff that handle transactions and have them kind of walk us through their procedures so we understand what procedures are in place over different transaction areas. We also do compliance testing, both state and federal compliance. For federal, we do a rotation of your largest federal programs and audit different ones each year. For state, we follow actually the state audit guide that's put out, and there's a lot of different things included in this. Can be anything from allowable expenditures for a particular program to a certain notice having to be posted or updated by a particular date. So quite a few different things that we look at. Actually, attendance testing itself that we'd already done as part of that compliance testing as well. We come back again then in the fall. At this point, the books are closed for the year, and so we're really shifting our focus to the financials, working our way through your unaudited actuals and making sure that the numbers presented there can be tied out to supporting documentation and that we agree with what's being presented in your funds and your unaudited actuals. All of that leads to a lovely audit report, maybe not the most fun reading, but I'll give you kind of a quick overview as we go through. Starts off at the very beginning with our opinion letter. And in this report, this is what's known as a clean or an unmodified opinion, which is what you would want. It's saying that we agree that the financial statements as presented here are presented fairly in all material aspects. So that's really what that opening letter is saying. After that is about 7 pages or so of what's known as management's discussion and analysis. Sometimes call it the cliff notes of the audit report. Gives shortened versions of the financial statements. Also gives current year as well as prior year information. So a little bit of context, you can kind of see overall what went up, what went down, that sort of information. After that are the full financial statements, and then after the full financial statements are the notes. That's going to be the bulk of the audit report itself. A lot of required disclosures about accounting policies and practices. Pensions and OPEB in particular have rather lengthy required notes that take up quite a bit of that space. After the notes, there's more schedules in the back. There'll be a budgetary comparison schedule. There's more schedules on pension and OPEB. Again, they have a lot of required disclosures. There'll be a schedule of your federal expenditures for the year, your average daily attendance, your instructional minutes, a few other required schedules in the back. And then it really wraps up with 3 more opinion letters at the very end. The beginning was our overall opinion on financials. The letters in the back are with 3 different standards. So the first one according to governmental auditing standards, the second according to federal standards, and the last one for state compliance. And so really that's how those letters are laid out. Again, all clean or unmodified opinion on those letters.
After that are any findings that were noted for the year, which there weren't any in this audit report, and then any resolution of prior year findings. So again, very kind of quick overview. We also do the Community Facilities District as a separate audit. It's briefly mentioned in your main audit, but most of the detail for that is in the separately issued audit that we do. When we're testing that, we focus a lot of our time on expenditures, making sure that the expenditures coming out of those funds are for allowable uses, and then reconciling all the various funds and bank accounts that are used either for capital projects or for debt service on the community facility districts. Again, very brief overview, but more than happy to answer any questions or delve into any particular area in more detail.
Thank you. Trustees, do you have any questions for staff or for Jessica?
I do. Thank you, Jessica. You started off in saying you visit different schools, so I have
Yes.
a few questions.
Uh-huh.
How do you rotate if there was a school that there was some kind of problem with it last year? Do you make sure you go back to that one? And I'm asking in the realm of our district is very large, and it's broken into 7 different areas. Does your firm look to do an equal amount in each area? I just wonder what the approach is since you were giving us an overview.
Sure. So actually there are specific requirements on how large our sample is set by the state audit guide. It's not based off geographic, it's really based off of grade level. And so we have to pull 20% of sites that cover any particular grade level. So normally it kind of breaks it into, elementary, middle, high school. Sometimes you have overlapping where one site might go like if you had a K-8 or something like that, that would cover multiple grade levels. So that shifts it a little bit. So we do a rotating sample based off grade level. When we're pulling that, we will look at which ones we've tested in past years and basically trying to test the ones that's been the longest since we've tested that one. And so we're working our way through the rotation. And then we also, when we're selecting, we'll send our list of samples over to district office as well, so they kind of know in advance if they had a particular school site that they had concerns about and wanted us like, hey, can you pay extra special attention to this one? Then that is something we would consider as well.
Okay, because potentially we have more elementary schools
Yes.
versus middle school and high school. But when you get into the middle schools, we have ASB, and not this school district in particular, although there's been times. ASB and those funds and the money handling, there's been a lot of different school districts that have had issues with that. How do you focus in on that these days?
So for ASB, we're looking at it a few different times. We will look at during our site visits, so really don't see it much at elementary schools because they're unorganized, so fairly small amounts. But at middle schools and high schools, we do, again, we're kind of sampling the school sites and looking at a rotation of the ASB activity for those sites. When we're out there, that would include middle and high school, as you mentioned. When we're out there, we're pulling cash receipts, making sure there's documentation for that, money coming in from fundraisers, from athletics, from plays, that type of thing, and cash disbursements, money going out, making sure it's allowable, pre-approved. We look at bank reconciliations as well, and we have some pretty lengthy questionnaires that we go through with the bookkeepers. We also will look at ASBs when we get to our year-end testing. So ASBs are reported in your Fund 8, which is one of the funds in your district, and so it's within, obviously, our overall financial report. At that point, we're really looking at final, so not as much transactional basis, we do that earlier on, but looking at final numbers, and so like their cash balances, we're tying out to bank statements, making sure those are reconciled. If they have any accounts receivable, accounts payable, tying that out to invoices or documentation there. And so really gathering the financials and bank information from all the different ASBs, including the elementaries actually at that stage, and making sure those are all compiled together and that they're properly reflected in your Fund 8 that's part of your unaudited actuals.
Okay, and my last question is, because ASB is a part of our school district, we have lots and lots and lots of parent booster clubs. But because that would be considered private, I guess, that would not fall under any jurisdiction or auditing. Is that correct?
Correct. So boosters are generally formed as not-for-profit entities. They operate under their own tax ID numbers. They have to do their own compliance, their own filings. So no, the only time we would really see it is once they've donated money into an ASB. Obviously, that becomes a cash receipt that's coming into the ASB. We'd see it at that point. But no, we don't audit the external boosters themselves.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Other comments, questions? Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Ms. Schwenke, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
We have none.
We have none, thank you. And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0-1. Okay, and we're moving on to 11B, California School Dashboard, College and Career Indicator, and Futurology presentation. This is an informational item only. No board action is necessary. I'd like to recognize Dr. Greg Merwin, Associate Superintendent, to introduce the item.
Thank you very much, President Davis and trustees. It's our pleasure to present item 11B, California School Dashboard, College and Career Indicator, and Futurology presentation. Assistant Superintendent Jen Smalley and Coordinator of College and Career Counseling, Erica Gardner, join me to share a presentation with you this evening, where we're going to present additional information regarding CUSD's dashboard, kind of a continuation from the December meeting, where we're providing more information in the area of College and Career Indicator. And then we're also providing information regarding our Futurology counselors and how they're supporting our high school students. As always, we encourage you to ask questions along the way. Please stop us at any time. Erica, Jen, and I are happy to answer your questions. And also, in the front row, District Administrator Michelle Benham is here. She'll be helping as well for any technical data questions you may have. So you can ask any questions at any time of all of us. We begin tonight's presentation by revisiting the CCI indicator on the dashboard and explaining further about the criteria. You'll remember we discussed this during the December meeting and how it relates to our district score of green or high on the dashboard. So just a friendly reminder before we dig in a little bit further that as you look at 2019, it may look like that was our highest point, and before the pandemic at 81.9%. Just wanted to point out again that the way that the state changed the criteria for college courses around that time, and what it did is it limited the types of college courses that would qualify for the CCI. So that significantly impacted our district as it did other districts across the state, and it changed that bar. So Ms. Smalley's now going to jump in and continue with more details regarding CCI metrics and exciting news about our schools on the AP honor roll. Ms. Smalley.
I'm going to discuss both the college and the career readiness indicators. This slide focuses solely on the college readiness indicators. College readiness is not defined by a single test or a single pathway. Students can demonstrate college readiness through state testing, AB, IP coursework and tests, CCAP college credit courses, A to G completion, or completion of the state seal of biliteracy. This flexibility is intentional and important. It allows students with different strengths and goals to show college readiness in meaningful ways while still maintaining rigor. And then this slide demonstrates the career readiness indicators. Career readiness is equally important and equally intentional. Students can qualify through leadership and military science. As a reminder, we're in our third year of our new JROTC program at San Clemente High School. CTE pathways, registered pre-apprenticeships, and or structured work-based learning experiences. As a reminder, the structured work-based learning experiences measure is specifically for our students who qualify for special education and are on the alternative pathway to diploma. The career indicators reinforce an important message for students and families that success after high school is not one size fits all. College is a great option, but it's not the only good option. This slide shows how our students are most commonly meeting the college and career indicators here in CUSD. A to G completion, advanced placement participation, and smarter balanced assessments are our strongest contributors, which aligns with our district's strong academic focus. This data helps staff identify where to maintain our momentum and where to focus next. Trustee Wilkes?
Can you please remind me, for the CTE pathway completion, the fact that it's just at 18%, I would say, is that because we have a lot of students that will take a bunch of different CTE courses but don't necessarily take the one pathway and get like a certificate in that?
So I
If my memory, I'm trying
expert
to...
Erica answer that question for you.
So it's CTE and, so they have to complete a CTE pathway plus something else, whether that's A through G completion or smarter balanced test score. So it's CTE plus. So that's why, yes, our students are absolutely completing pathways more, but they also have to meet another measure, like taking a college course.
Ms. Small, I have a question too.
Yes.
So when I was looking at this bar graph, I'm thinking, okay, so, and you just said it, there are areas that this is how it focuses on what do we need to improve on, or what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. But I don't really have, this is not my wheelhouse at all. And so what am I really like comparing it to? This is us as a district, but maybe 63 or 62.3% is phenomenal in smarter balanced assessment in comparison to the rest of the state, or in comparison to other students in other districts. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, what do these numbers mean outside of this area, and I'm just trying to look for some comparisons, if that makes sense.
Do you have that with you, or we can provide it?
If you were going to pick like your strength or your weakness, are you just going to say, okay, we're going to work on military science and leadership or register? I mean, are you just clearly just going down and looking at where we're low and high, and that's what we're doing? Or are there areas where we're high, but we could be a lot higher, I guess?
We want to maintain where we are right now and then grow in leadership, military science. We anticipate that going up with the
Okay.
JROTC
Yeah.
gaining growth and
Yes.
strength and more enrollment. And then we have a pre-apprenticeship starting at San Juan Hills this year. So we anticipate to
Okay.
see more of those programs in our schools. So we anticipate those numbers going up as well.
Okay.
Is that?
Yep. Thank you.
To add on to Trustee Castellanos, it would be nice to see a comparison within like Orange County and then the state of California, so that it does give us some frame of reference. Thank you.
We can provide that. And then I'm excited, like Dr. Merwin said, to share this slide. All 6 of our comprehensive high schools earned AP Honor Roll recognition between 2023 and 2025. This recognition reflects not just performance, but increased access within advanced placement programs. It tells us that our CUSD students are enrolling, persisting, and succeeding in rigorous coursework across all of our 6 comprehensive campuses. The AP Honor Roll offers 4 levels of distinction: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. In 2023, we had 4 silver and 2 bronze schools, and then grew in 2024 to 5 silver and 1 bronze. And we're excited to share that in 2025, we earned our first gold and had 5 silver schools. And I anticipate we'll be back to share platinum schools soon. With that, I will hand it off to Erica.
Good evening. I get to talk about Futureology, our college and career counseling team, who are all credentialed school counselors who are experts in college admissions. Many of our team members are UC application readers, and so really know the ins and outs of college applications. We're extremely data driven, and our goals align with our district goals and our school goals. One of our helpful things is our webinars, and we have monthly webinars on various topics. These topics are chosen with our advisory council that consists of parents, students, staff members, really to kind of see what our students are asking for. So tonight, actually, we have our 9th and 10th grade college and career orientation webinar going on now that we had over 500 families register for. On average, we have about 140 families joining us for our webinars that go over financial aid, californiacolleges.edu that I'm going to go into just a little bit more. And we're very excited about our Alumni Insights college admissions journey coming up in March, where former board member Catherine Verando is going to be sharing her first year at UPenn with other students. So very excited about that. Not only do we have our webinars, but we also have one-on-one appointments with students and families. We have our tutorial workshops that we host at all of the 6 comprehensive high schools. We have classroom lessons, our financial aid support during school and after school. We help host the college fair, the CUSD College Fair, and then our summer programming where we offer one-on-one appointments over the summer and also workshops for students so they're prepared for their fall applications. Just a little numbers, our 24-25 impact report, we had over 2,500 one-on-one appointments with students and families last year. We were able to host over 23,000 parents and students through our events. Our college fair is always one of our biggest of the year with over 1,000 attendees. And just our webinars, events, and 545 lessons that we have given over the last year. And those numbers we'll have for you next year as soon as this year is complete. So I had mentioned californiacolleges.edu, or sometimes it's referred to as CCGI, but it's the state and CUSD's official college and career online platform for students. Students in grades 6 through 12 have access to this online platform with career information, career interest inventories, college search, college list building, A through G monitoring, so students can see where they are in tracking their A through G so that they are able to apply to Cal States and UCs. And there is a college application integration. So what is on a student's transcript can automatically go into the UC and Cal State application, which helps with errors and time in completing their college applications. Last year, over 14,000 applications were launched through californiacolleges.edu, and it's just a great partnership that we have. We do have a webinar coming up for families on how students and parents can kind of look over and see student grades and transcript and make sure their student is eligible for college applications.
Question?
Yes.
The career assessments and search tools.
Yes.
I mean, oh my goodness, all of the offerings that you give. Do you have a way to measure how many of our students are taking advantage of that? Because if we don't find that, if we feel there should be more, how we advertise it more?
Absolutely. Great question. So our school counseling teams have decided on lessons starting at 6th grade. The first one being an intro to californiacolleges.edu, and in that first lesson, all 6th graders are completing the first one is called an interest inventory. So just getting them excited about learning about themselves, what interests they have, and then what careers go along with their interests. And they can heard it, they like it, and it saves to their profile, so counselors and teachers are able to see what careers their students are interested in. Maybe bring in guest speakers and then connect them to colleges that have that major. So really starting off at that level. Also in 8th grade, they do what's called the intelligences assessment. It's not really saying their intelligence is just kind of their style of learning. And so students, again, connect to careers and colleges there. And then again, at the high school level, they have access to this information and work in tutorials with our futurology counselors. So lots of different pieces in there.
So for clarification, the career assessments and search tools, this isn't a site that they go to online and do themselves?
Yep.
Or they can as well?
They can do it on their own, but
Okay.
we have counselors giving lessons on these in the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then this slide is from the National Student Clearinghouse. We get this data every year. This is actually our top institutions that students are enrolling in straight out of high school. And you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, 10,000 students, we don't have that many seniors graduating. This is actually, they give us data from the last 8 years. So this is class of 2018 all the way to class of 2025. And as you can see, Saddleback is our institution that most of our students enroll in straight out of high school. Number 2 is going to be Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. We have Fullerton, San Diego State, and so on. For the class of 2025, just that class. It was Saddleback and then IVC. So different years, but again, this is all the way class of 2018 to 2025. So in closing, college and career indicator is more than just a data point. It reflects systems, counseling, instruction, and access, all working in alignment. Our focus remains on preparing students, not just for graduation day, but for what comes next. And we appreciate you supporting students as well and being in continued support to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Swanky, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
I still have another 2 questions.
Sure.
and one for Jen. On that last slide, thank you for the clarification that it goes back to 118. We realize this is a business meeting for the trustees, for our benefit, but there are a lot of people that go onto our website and look, and so it's helpful if the screen projects and gives that information, that if that could have said from 2018 to 2025, because someone else might have the question, we had 10,000 graduates. And the last one, this might make you laugh, Jen. I don't get the big book delivered to my home. I read the agenda on the screen. Some screens are better than the others. And I kept looking at what I now know is bronze versus gold. So my screen was not showing the bronze and the gold. And I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to figure out, well, so there's only one now. Why would we be proud of that? I didn't see that it was gold versus the bronze. So if in a legend, you could say bronze, silver, and gold, so people aren't like me trying to figure out what the chart is trying to tell me. Thank you.
Would it also be possible to show the last years on the last chart that shows where students have gone? It shows the 8 years,
Yes.
but could we pull it off and just extrapolate just last year's?
Yes.
That would be helpful too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, this is information only, so there's no board action. Thank you. Move on to 11C, 2026 Local Control Accountability Plan Mid-Year Monitoring Report for the 2025-26 Local Control Accountability Plan. This is also an information item only, and no board action is necessary. And I'd like to recognize Greg Merwin to present this item.
Okay, thank you, President Davis and trustees. Staff presents item 11C, Local Control Accountability Plan, Mid-Year Monitoring Report for the 25-26 Local Control Accountability Plan. This is an annual information item where staff reports mid-year data, outcomes, and expenditures related to the action steps in the current year's LCAP. Executive Director Dr. Michael Gomez joins me to answer any questions you may have. This is informational only.
Sorry, thank you. Ms. Swanky, do we have any requests to speak for this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Okay, trustees? Okay, thank you so much. And we'll be moving on to 11D. May I have a motion to approve the instructional materials recommended for adoption by the Instructional Materials Review Committee? Moved by trustee Zollinger, seconded by trustee Bullicus. Trustees, do you have any questions for staff? Okay, I just wanted to share something that my IMRC rep had shared in regards to one of the books. Her husband was really interested in the AP music theory text, so they both reviewed it carefully as he was a teacher at a university, anyway, down in San Diego. And they reviewed it in the district office, and he said it was the very best music theory text he'd ever seen. And they went and reviewed it here at the district office, which I just wanted to make sure that the public is aware that anyone can review any books at any time, and you just come into the office here and they have them available for you. And Anyway, it just basically wanted to say that it was absolutely the very best that he's ever seen. And it's been far too many years since we've approved a new book in this category. So I'm excited for that. So the Musician's Guide to Theory and Analysis. And then on Hidden Figures, I just really appreciate that we're adding this book because it is the reminder that we are looking for lifelong learners, and how we perform is the ultimate equalizer. And we are in the business of education, and these incredible women were educated, disciplined, and they just had a strong educational foundation, which allowed them to have such great careers. And they took ownership of their careers and learned new technology and worked within the groups that they were working with to make things better. So I'm excited for both of these. Okay, any other comments, discussion? Okay, Mr. Swinky,
I have a comment.
Well,
Are we supposed to be voting and then comment?
we will vote after, but we'll go to speaker cards, but go ahead.
Okay, do you want to do speaker card? No, I should go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to add to that, I was very excited about Hidden
Figures.
Thank you, Hidden Figures. I saw that movie back in 2017 with my husband, and I thought, thank goodness there's filmmakers who decide to latch on to some of these things. How many years? This happened in the late 50s and 60s, and these black women, and we noticed in the movie, all white men, all in white shirts, what they went through, I haven't read the book, but in the movie, and where they made them go so far to use the restroom. And here are these women that are just brainiacs in mathematics. And it was like, how long it took us to have that story come out. I was ashamed over that, but thrilled to then learn. And that NASA named a building after, and excuse me that I don't forget her name. I don't know if anybody. Thank you. And so I was just thrilled that we have this book now in our library and for our students to learn about history. I think it was great. Thank you.
So write down your stories. Who knows what'll happen. Mr. Swinky, do we have any requests to speak for this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Ms. Swinky, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Castellanos?
Aye.
Trustee Pritchard?
Aye.
Trustee Zollinger?
Aye.
Trustee Adnams?
Aye.
Trustee Bullicus?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye. Motion carries 601. Moving on to 11E, may I have a motion to waive second reading and approve the first reading for Board Policy 3580, District Records?
So moved.
Wait.
No.
Thank you.
Because Gila's not here, we can vote to approve it, and then it has to come back on.
So we are not going to approve for first reading, but we will vote to approve because we're short one board member here. Because with less than an unanimous vote for the total board, bring it back for ratification on consent at the February meeting. May I have a motion?
So just to clarify, you're waiving the second reading? So
Waiving the second reading.
Yes. Yeah, to waive the second reading and approve the first reading, but it will come back on consent at the next
Yes.
meeting.
Sorry, I had a little pause in the discussion on that, so thank you, yes. And so moved by Trustee Adnams and seconded by Trustee, thank you, Zollinger. And I'd like to recognize Clark Hampton, Deputy Superintendent, to introduce the item.
Thank you, President Davis. So this board policy was last updated in 2018. This just brings it up to date with the current technology and conforms with the latest federal and state laws on data privacy.
Thank you. Mr. Swanky, do we have any requests to speak for this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Okay, trustee discussion? Okay, with no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Motion carries 601. Wasn't sure if it's needed to be read. Thank you. Okay, moving to 11F. May I have a motion to waive second reading and approve the first reading of Board Policy 5131.2, bullying, with less than unanimous vote of the total board, bring it back to ratification on consent at the February regular meeting. Moved by trustee Adnams. Second by trustee Zollinger. And I'd like to recognize Greg Merwin, Associate Superintendent, to introduce the item.
Thank you, President Davis and trustees. This policy was last revised in 2022. It's being updated in response to the federal program monitoring process. Dr. Gomez and I are available for questions. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, any comments?
I have a question on page 288. About halfway down the page, it says, when appropriate, based on the severity or pervasiveness of the bullying, the superintendent or designee shall notify parents of victims and perpetrators and may contact law enforcement. When would it not be appropriate to notify parents?
We would always want to notify parents.
Okay.
We would never
That's what I was
avoid doing
thinking
that.
too. So I don't know if that wording needs to be adjusted to say, I mean, I understand when appropriate contacting law enforcement, but in my mind, any kind of bullying, we would want to contact the parents.
Yeah, we're double checking. This is state template language, so we're just confirming. We would always want to notify parents
Right.
if they were victims of bullying. We're checking that right now. It's
While we're working on that, Ms. Schminke, do we have any speaker cards on this item?
There are none.
There are none, thank you. We'll continue with our discussion here.
And actually, as we're looking at that, it's existing language from the way the policy was prior to the revisions. So we're happy to review that and
Review
make
that.
sure that's a stronger statement to say we always notify parents.
I would like that to be reviewed and maybe potentially be rewritten. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be happy to do that.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to share, I believe all trustees received an email in regard to this policy. And I have permission from this constituent to share. This past Sunday at church, our pastor shared 9 words that can change your life. I am sorry, I was wrong, please forgive me. It immediately made her think about the 7 years substituting in our district, from TK through high school, and the countless classrooms she's been in. One thing that has been consistent across every age: every child at some point has been unkind or has hurt another student. In the moments where she's witnessed an interaction like that, she's often had to step in and coach students on how to apologize. What has surprised her most is how difficult asking for forgiveness can be for many of them. She's been encouraged to see this bullying policy is being reviewed, and her hope is that it will go beyond identifying bullying and empowering bystanders, and also teach students how to take responsibility for their actions in a meaningful way. Saying sorry is important, but it is incomplete without the next step, asking for forgiveness. I would love to see all students taught a simple, shared framework, perhaps expanding this to 10 words. I'm sorry, I was wrong, can you forgive me? As you know, repairing relationships matters. For a student who has been hurt, hearing a genuine apology directly from the person who caused harm is powerful. For the student who caused the harm, learning how to take responsibility and seek forgiveness is formative. These are life skills, and they must be taught. The videos and materials that she's seen at our schools, particularly at the middle school level, focuses primarily on being an upstander rather than a bystander. While that is valuable, there is no guidance for the student who bullied or the student who was hurt. No clear emphasis on accountability, responsibility, or repairing the relationship. This feels like a significant missed opportunity. I realize the bullying policy is being reviewed at tonight's meeting and new language is being added, but I hope the message for all staff to share with students is consistent. No child is perfect, and every student needs to know that they can reverse course, change their behavior, and move forward, leading with kindness and empathy. These 10 words can truly change a relationship. I am sorry, I was wrong, can you forgive me? And then she asked was grateful for the thoughtful review of this important policy. So I appreciated that email from one of our substitute teachers in our district and her sharing the importance of, how important this policy is, because words matter, actions matter from adults and students. And the best move forward is to focus on helping to make things right and helping teach how to build and repair and mend relationships as you move along in life. So thank you. I think we're giving direction on this that will bring it back. And any other comments? We have no speaker cards. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0-1. Okay, moving to 11G, may I have a motion to waive second reading and approve first reading Board Policy 5145.3, non-discrimination harassment, formerly 5180, non-discrimination, with less than an unanimous vote of the total board, and bring it back for ratification on consent at the February regular meeting. Moved by
So moved.
Trustee Adams, seconded by
Second.
Trustee Bulkus. I'd like to recognize Greg Merwin, Associate Superintendent, to introduce the item.
Thank you, President Davis and trustees. This policy was last revised in 2018. It's being updated in response again to the federal program monitoring process. Dr. Gomez is here again with me, and we're available for questions. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Mrs. Swanky, do we have any speaker cards, or do we have any requests to speak for this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Trustees?
Yeah, so I have the same question that I had on the previous policy. This is located on page 300. When appropriate, based on the severity and pervasiveness, we shall notify parents. So I would say same thing.
Yeah, it's the same exact language there as it is in the other.
So we'll
policy.
want to adjust
We can
that
look
as
at
well.
that one
Okay.
as well.
Thank you. Ms. Swanky, do we have any speaker cards on this item? Oh,
So it's on page 300. And it says, when appropriate, based on the severity or pervasiveness of the bullying, the superintendent or designee shall notify the parents, guardians of victims, and perpetrators, and may contact law enforcement. And so I had the same question of when would it not be appropriate to notify parents? Yeah.
okay. Any other comments? Okay. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0-1. Okay. Okay, moving on to 11H. May I have a motion to waive second reading and approve the first reading Board Policy 5145.7, formerly 5183, sexual harassment, with less than an unanimous vote of the total board, and bring it back for ratification on consent at the February regular meeting. Moved by Trustee Bulkus, seconded by Trustee Adams. I'd like to recognize Greg Merwin, Associate Superintendent, to introduce the item.
Thank you again, President Davis and trustees. This policy was last revised in 2021. It is also being updated in response to the federal program monitoring process. I do want to point out one other thing about this policy, regarding how to notify the Title IX coordinator with sexual harassment concerns. That information is being moved from the policy into an accompanying administrative regulation. It will be posted on our website after the policy is approved, right next to the policy, so that it will be very clear how people contact the coordinator. So Dr. Gomez and I are available for questions. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, Ms. Swinky, do we have any requests to speak for this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Trustees? Trustee Bulkus?
Without necessarily stating who that contact is, for trustees to know, is that person still the same that is going to be stated on the AR?
Yes, the Title IX coordinator is still the same person.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0-1. We'll now move to the consent calendar. Mrs. Swanky, do we have any requests to speak for this item?
There are none.
Thank you. Trustees, do we have any consent items that you'd like to pull? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar? Moved by trustee Zollinger,
Seconded.
seconded by trustee Bolkus. Mrs. Swinky, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Castellanos?
Aye.
Trustee Pritchard?
Aye.
Trustee Zollinger?
Aye.
Trustee Adnams?
Aye.
Trustee Bullicus?
Aye.
Trustee Jones? Sorry, Trustee Davis.
Davis. Motion carries, or aye. Motion carries 601 to approve the consent calendar. Thank you. Okay, and now I'd like to recognize Mr. Clark Hampton. Do you have any comments? This is now the superintendent and board member comments.
Thank you, President Davis. I have no comments tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustees?
The only comment I would like to make is to congratulate Sam Darnold. And yeah, just say we're proud of you, Sam. CUSD is proud of you. San Clemente Tritons are proud of you. And also shout out to Mike Darnold, his grandfather, who serves so faithfully and diligently at Dana Hills High School. Make sure your grandson gets you good seats at the game.
Any others? Well, you absolutely stole mine, so thank you. Absolute congratulations to Sam Darnold. And when I spoke with Mike Darnold a couple months ago, he's doing just excellent work in so many ways, and it's exciting to see. But it is really exciting for San Clemente community and all of our community to have, Sam Darnold running that ship there on that field. Okay, I love it. And I'd like to just recognize some of the retirees on this month's agenda. Jeffrey Garino is a high school teacher for 31 years. And we've got Patricia Garcia, school bus driver for 35 years. Elmer Santalon, custodian for 35 years. Patricia York, paraeducator, 28 years. Kay Loper-Letty, paraeducator, 27 years. Randy Vazano, paraeducator, 27 years. Hector Rivera, school bus driver, 26 years. Joanne Blacker, accounting technician, 25 years. Janine Napies, middle school office manager, 23 years. And Genevieve Gonzalez, paraeducator, 13 years. So thank you to all of the many, many years of service in CUSD, to those retiring, those that are currently working with us. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oh, I'm so sorry. My goodness. One moment, please. If we could please move this over to Trustee Bullicus for her comments.
I have to advertise. So Tesoro has their famous vocal concert the next 2 nights. It is the, just a second, let me see. This is the Broadway tribute. And to remind everybody, it is the spring play season. And Tesoro's play is, I want to get that title right, The Girl in the White Pinafore. And I wasn't familiar with what that was, so I had to go on the internet and look to see. And then later in spring, they're doing Footloose. Now, that's just one high school, and we have lots of performing arts throughout, so I want to remind you, take advantage of spring season. It costs you less than going to the Segerstrom Performing Arts Center, and to see our students perform is just great joy. So go online and check out tickets and go see a show. And that's all I have. Thank you.
I mean, I'll jump in because this week at San Juan Hills is Sweeney Todd, so I'll be there this week as well. It's going to be a good one.
So many great things happening everywhere on the sports fields as well. Thank you. Okay, and now may I have a motion to adjourn this? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. We are going to motion to recess this meeting. We need to go back into closed session to go over the conference with legal counsel, existing litigation 3 cases, and item G, the liability claim 1 case. Motion to recess. Okay. Moved by trustee Adnams and seconded by trustee Bullicus. We'll be back in a few moments. Thank you.
Trustees, please stand by while we start the live stream.
Okay, welcome back. We have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by
Wait,
trustee Adams.
Wait, sorry. When we re-adjourn the meeting, and then we have to reopen, and then I have to read out the script.
Good later evening and welcome back to the January 28th regular board meeting of the Capistrano Unified School District. The meeting is now back in session and the time is 7:25 p.m. Mrs. Swinky, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Castellanos is absent. Trustee Pritchard is absent. Trustee Zollinger.
Here.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Bullicus.
Here.
Trustee Davis.
Here. And Mrs. Swinky, can you please read the report from closed session?
On agenda item 4E, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, trustees voted 502 to approve staff recommendations on the following cases. ADR cases 2025-0620M and case number 2025-1205. On item 4F, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, trustees voted 502 to approve staff recommendations on the following OAH cases: 2025-090890, 2025-100457, 2025-120015. And on agenda item 4G, liability claim, trustees voted 502 to approve rejection of government claim number 2514189. This concludes my report.
Thank you. And now may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Adams, second by trustee Zollinger. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 403 to adjourn the meeting. The time is now 7:29 p.m. Thank you and have a great night.